The Breakfast Club, bitches.
All right, Charlamagne, please tell me, why was I your donkey of the day?
My damn lighter don't work, and I need to light my Palo Santo. Okay, we got a doozy for you today, guys. Donkey of the day for Wednesday, February 2nd. Wednesday, February 2nd, second day of Black History Month, goes to Garrett Saldano. Okay, he's running in Michigan's Republican primary for governor, and he is getting donkey of the day today because he said rape victims shouldn't have abortions because the baby they are carrying may be the next president. Can't make this kind of stuff up. You know what's interesting? Some of the best writers in the business couldn't make this kind of stuff up, okay? It doesn't matter if they're comedy writers, drama writers, horror writers. They couldn't make this stuff up either because they would be afraid to in 2022 because they wouldn't want to be canceled. But if there's a group of people who don't subscribe to cancel culture in any way, shape, or form and say what the hell they want, it's GOP politicians. Let's listen to Face to Facts podcast with April Moss to hear what Garrett Saldano had to say.
And I get it. There's a lot of situations out there when you talk about rape and everything else and, hey, maybe they deserve an abortion. We're always going to fight for life. And I have a great personal story of one of my mentors. And he was going through life and he was adopted. So he started to look up his birth family to figure out who they were. And he figured out that his mom was gang raped in a subway train station by 5 guys. Mm. And it kind of like tore out his heart when he found that out. But then he started to really appreciate and understand what his birth mother went through, that she had the courage to deliver him. Mm-hmm. And since then, since he was delivered, he has helped thousands of people be better versions of themselves. Mm-hmm. And so what we must start to focus on is not only to defend the DNA when it's created, but however, how about we start inspiring women in the culture to let them understand and know how heroic they are and how unbelievable that they are. That God put them in this moment and they don't know that little baby inside them may be the next president, maybe the next person that changes humanity, may get us out of the situation maybe in the future. We don't know that.
Wow.
Ladies, imagine having to deal with the trauma of being raped, then finding out you're pregnant and somebody tells you that God put you in that moment. Why do we act like God didn't give us free will? Life is about choices, and those choices are fueled by your higher and lower self. Rape is clearly a choice fueled by your lower self, okay? God don't have nothing to do with that. I'm not a spiritual leader, so don't listen to me. All I know is that free will is granted to every human. If a human desires to incline towards the good and be righteous, they have the power to do so. And if they desire to incline toward the unrighteous and be wicked, then they have the power to do that too. We always want to bring God into our nut-ass criminal decisions. Okay, if you were submitting your will to God, you probably wouldn't be committing the crime in the first place. So let's not bring God into this. Second, let's talk about choices. I don't understand why men are so hell-bent on telling women what choice to make with their body. Sure, you could still raise a child that could be a productive citizen in this society, but that's easy for you to say because you weren't the one who was raped. You aren't the one who psychologically and emotionally has to go through that, okay? I wouldn't wish that kind of trauma on nobody. I would not wish that kind of choice on my worst enemy. That's why I don't understand why people like Garrett Saldano talk about it like it's just something uncomfortable you have to live through when it happens, okay? Like walking to your car in the rain. You know how when you have to be somewhere and you may want to wait until it stops raining, but if you wait, you'll be late, so you grab your umbrella, your raincoat, or maybe just a little vanilla folder to hold over your head and you run to your car, and when you get in, you realize, okay, it got a little wet, but 15 minutes later, you dry, and you're not thinking about it, you make it to where you're going on time, and all is right with the world. That's how folks like Garrett Saldano treat this rape pregnancy conversation, okay? They all sound so nonchalant about it. Remember in 2012 when the late Todd Aiken, Todd Aiken during his campaign for U.S. Senate said legitimate rape rarely results in pregnancy? Listen.
If it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down.
Remember in 2019 when then Florida House Speaker Jose Olivia apologized for referring to pregnant women as host bodies several times during a TV news interview about an anti-abortion bill? Listen.
And it's a complex issue because one has to think, well, there's a host body, and that host body has to have a certain amount of rights because at the end of the day, it is that body that carries this entire other body to term.
What the hell is he even talking about? Listen, GOP politicians, you have to care about the woman having the babies as much as you do the fetus growing inside them. It makes zero sense to care so much about the fetus, but when the fetus becomes a full-blown adult, you refer to them as host bodies and tell them that being raped and impregnated is an act of God, and you want to strip away their right to choose, okay? Michigan, you know Governor Gretchen Whitmer is running for re-election in November. I would say the statement from Garrett Saldano is the kind of, thing that would usually cause you to lose races, but it's 2022. things have changed. So, hey, I'm not endorsing anyone or telling you who to vote for. I'm just letting you know the kinds of things that are being said on the campaign trail so you can make a choice. Key word here is choice, which is something when it comes to abortions, politicians like Garrett Saldano don't want you to have. Please give GOP candidate for Governor Garrett Saldano the biggest ER. Matter of fact, let Chelsea Handler get in on that.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. That is way too much Dan mayonnaise.
Kathy Griffin got anything to say?
Please give this giant jar of mayo the biggest hee-haw.
Okay. All right.
Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.